I gotta place the sponsor logos yet again, because I kept goofing them up, but there we go. This should be set. Back in action here. Oh, sorry, that voice cracked. Back in action here. It's game number 2. If you're just joining us, it's DreamHack 2014. It's DreamHack Winter, baby. Spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map, it's gonna be Startail's Life.
In upper left as the blue Zerg, it's Leenock.
Man, we got so many cool people lurking around in chat tonight, and I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Do keep in mind there are several other streams going on for DreamHack. We got PoE, we got Winter StarCraft, and of course the main stream for English, tons in other languages. But damn life, damn. Going for a bit of an Ader pool here.
He's drinking that Aderade.
Yeah, that Aderade. All right.
That joke.
So an 8 pool is, I think, about as risky as they come. Borderline contending with a 6 pool, all jokes aside. It's definitely something meant to catch your opponent off guard, but man, unless Leenock goes like hatch first, I don't think it'll be that bad.
Even if he does,
yeah, even if he
King
does.
Sejong is a longer distance than it might appear at first glance, so that's usually why Zerg players feel fairly confident on this map to take a early hatch, but unfortunately, his Overlord, you know, it's a long ways away from Scouting Life's lack of a natural, so the Lings are going to get kind of far without, you know, really being able to tell, and Leenock's going to have to decide right then and there, how do I decide to play out this game? Do I save my natural with drones? Do I buy enough time for Lings? What do I do?
Well, he's going to take some damage, that's for sure. The question is just how much. Again, like, this is one of those things where we've seen this fail too much for me to really have faith in it. But it's life. He's the man with the plan. He's the one who's known for his Zerglings. I mean...
Yeah. Leenock does know about this now, though. Both seeing it here with the Overlord and also on the other side of the map with the Scouting Overlord, so... Mental preparations are going down. A couple of Lings are actually, that was kind of cool, seeing what the main looks like. You know, if Lings are already ready, maybe, well, if the spawn was already done, I should say, Lings on the way, maybe he doesn't, I don't know, maybe he goes in the main rather than attack the natural, but it is his choice to go for the natural, and that's an easy, guaranteed kill, pretty much.
I like this, that he let it complete, though. This is a lot of time Leenock has bought himself to now have 10 Lings out, to be able to actually fight what's coming. Had he actually just canceled that, then life would have gone immediately to the main, and he would have had nothing to fight with. So it was unfortunately a loss, but it was one he had to take. Yeah.
I mean, the other option was for life to actually go into the main and try. Oh, this wasn't good for Leenock. Oh, okay, it's okay. He had more on the way.
Yeah, life actually droned up enough behind us that they're on kind of even footing. As weird as it is, as weird as the opener went, I mean. The game's kind of evened up here. The only difference is Leenock's minded gas a little bit earlier than life.
Well, life just has speed on the way.
Oh, actually that too, because he's not going for his satchel a bit later, but...
So, he does have a lot of gas, but he did take out of it, so no Baneling Nest. I like Leenock's choice to actually just throw down the Baneling Nest as opposed to, like, you know, usually it's speed, then Baneling Nest, but if it's an emergency, whether you know, like a mid-game all-in is coming, or you know that like a potential follow-up all-in after an 8 pool is coming, get the Baneling Nest, invest 50 into that, 50 into a couple more Banelings, and defend. And it's life too, so even if like he had no scouting vision whatsoever, and he still does with that Overlord on the map, I think he would have planted down the Baneling Nest anyways.
Real talk, I love DreamHack, but I just don't like this UI. Like, you called speed, I didn't realize it was building. The stupid icons are so scrunched up here in the top left. Smaller than normal, but not by much, but enough for me to be complacent about it. Either way, the Queen should be able to defend this. The Banelings are out, and Life's Lings are going to have to get some pretty, I don't know, safety hats on, however you want to call it. Like, it's the danger zone here in Leenock space.
Life has to really just take great trades to the Banelings, like 1 or 2 Lings max with each one, and then maybe, oh, that wasn't it, and then maybe he can overwhelm before Leenock can make more, but it's already looking like that's not going to happen. There's a whole other flood of lings coming out from life. He is running up behind this. He's now down by 9. That hurts a lot, although his hatchery is finally up as well.
Yeah, the problem is, like, as he continues to flood lings, I don't think he'll be able to get enough to match the banelings from Leenock. Like, forget the queens. Like, even if you lost all these queens, and even if the spine crawlers, they got focused down, there's always going to be those banelings out, which just kind of make this impossible to break without his own, I feel. He is trying to do what you suggested earlier. I mean, like, you trade out 1 or 2 for banelings. It's not too bad.
God. Oh, God. What I think life really is trying to, like, besides being, like, really fanciful life here and actually taking on a baneling, is also just, you know, making Leenock feel a little afraid. Now, Leenock has had, like, 10 seconds to look at the minimap and say, okay, life isn't, like, getting any more lings across the map. It's possible that he's, like, bulking them up in his natural, but I'm gonna take a guess here and just go ahead and drone. Because, you know, otherwise, like, a lesser player might just be too afraid and, like, to be waiting with, like, 1,000 minerals, like, okay, to make lings or drones, so... Life's not going to get any headway that way. He is just going to be stuck behind in drones.
Well, we say behind, but it's only a little bit, and the third base on the way is a little bit risky, but I think one of the big things was... Actually, did he scout that layer? He did not actually catch the layer coming down. At any rate, for Leenock's sake, like last time we saw Nydus with these gases coming down, it's still a very real possibility. In fact, I would say very, very likely, because we don't see an evolution chamber. We don't have roach warrens down. And with no third on the way, that just makes me think he's looking to bank up every mineral, every gas for these very expensive units.
Well, it's pretty bad that Leenock doesn't have a... well, it's not bad. It's unfortunate that Leenock doesn't have a overload at the third. If he did, he might change his game plan a little bit more, whether it is getting his own third or actually getting a lot of lings. He is getting speed to go ahead and attack it.
Yeah, I mean, life... He's really laying it on thick here, but sees the lair. He's going to see 4 gases. This is kind of a big tell. Might not actually physically see the spire come down, but it's not going to take a lot of guesswork seeing 4 gases, no roach warren, to tell what Leenock's up to.
What's usually so nice about getting muted against a roach player too is that, like, the third is not only like weak against a ling attack where you usually get the cancel because there's just too many lings, not enough roaches. But there's also a chance, like, the spore crawler isn't down, like the creep isn't spread, the queens can't get over there, and the mutas did a lot of damage to it as well. But as early as life got the hatchery, as soon as he, like, figures out that spire's on the way, or, you know, says this is around the time mutas will be out, a spore crawler is going to go down there, and, you know, with banelings as well, he's never going to lose it, and that just means Leenock's third's going to be so far behind.
You know, life just took a pretty nasty zergling hit from that baneling. His own banelings are out now. So Leenock can't quite just freely waltz through this, but a couple lings here in the main. Gonna force a drone pull there. Does try and hold that queen. Does stay alive. Still dance around here near that third. I mean, he's got more lings. He can win the ling fight. He's just, again, oh, those baneling connects. Doing that quite nicely. But still, for Leenock's sake, I mean, no matter what he invests here for these zerglings, this is, again, kind of like him buying time. Look at that mineral bank he's got behind us. Look at the mutas not coming out. 8 mutas coming up here really quick. Well, I didn't quite kill the queens. If he can get them all low enough, the mutas will just cherry pick these, no problem.
It looks like that was his plan, so...
Actually, you know, I would almost argue it's better, because then you don't remake the queens ahead of time, right? But he is going 3 queens heavy right now. Does he know about the spire? Yeah, he already saw the spire, so he knew what he was going to have to expect this game. The Overlord... Ooh, what? Okay, I don't know if he's actually going for drops. I don't imagine he would, but... Yeah, that's...
Well, certainly not that he knows that mutas are on the way, but... Alright, spore crawlers are here. Leenock chose actually not to go for any of the Overlord kills. There aren't that many, there was only 2, but decided to try and hit that third as fast as possible. I like this choice. There was a possibility he got there just in time to kill the spore crawler, but... Oh man, like a spore crawler has to be like 15% health or something if you actually like tear it down, otherwise it just does too much damage to your muta count.
Well, almost loses his third behind this. Leenock took quite a bit of damage on that from that ling round. By nice moves there out of life. Who has started to invest in roaches. Who's got the infestation pit on the way. Who's going to be looking for those infestors. So once again, go for those sick-ass fungus if he can. Last game got kind of out of control, and it looked like it was actually, to me, honestly, when Leenock got towards Broodlords, I'm like, this is his comfort zone. I thought he was going to take that game, but life played out really well. The difference between that game and this game, though, is he doesn't really have any map control, whereas last game he was at least able to hover around his third. He had some creep spread. I mean, Leenock's actually the one who's kind of controlling everything and suffocating life in this time.
But with how this game opened up, Life is actually looking in a pretty comfy position. You know, he's up on drones, he had that third a lot faster, and he does, well, until Leenock has, you know, Broodlords, he does have what you would call the better tech. Usually, like, the Muta players always want to switch into Roaches, simply because they do get better as time goes on, but he's switching into Broodlords, of course, as he does.
Queen Fight's so dangerous to take. There's so many transfuses available, but the Lings are starting to help win this out. However, it's costing quite a few Mutas to make this happen.
Yeah. One Spore Crawler here would have really helped out. It would have been absolutely perfect, but he just run back to the other one.
Yeah, the one Spore Crawler should stop all these Mutas. Most of the Overlords drawn back or killed already, so there's not really a lot for these Mutas to do.
Ventral Sack's finished.
I want him to use those, but I just don't know how he would.
Why get a Nydus for him?
So, okay, the Overlords are the exit plan.
Maybe.
The getaway driver.
I really wish he would, but they're slow Overlords. He didn't even bother getting that's gotta be what he meant to get, speed.
So the cool thing about the Nydus Worm, let's not just glance over this. Pinging, please. The nice thing about the, yeah, I guess there's some space up here to drop it. It's going to make it so you're not walking across the map and getting picked off by the Mutas. Like, if these Roaches just marched across the map and the Infestors just walked across the map, you're going to lose about half of them or a quarter of them before they even get over there. But not going to have to worry about that with the Nydus Worm, that's for sure.
His Queen count was, you know, hurt a little bit, but he still has a lot that will go into that Nydus Worm and be the anti-air as well.
Yo, it was James. James done
the pinging.
Of course it was. So kind of cool moves here. Well, he gets one up here on the top right, almost like a fake Nydus Worm. Well, this one comes up here on the top left. So all the Mutas come over here to defend. Really, it's going to be a small amount of Roaches that slip out towards that third.
Leenock, I could have sworn he threw on his own infestation pit. He did, but he never went up to Hive.
Yeah, I don't think he had the opportunity for it, though. He did go up to Hive, actually. You're wrong. Get wrecked.
Oh, well, yeah, because you knew that, right?
No, I didn't, but I just panned over to look. Either way,
it went to Greater Spire.
Yeah, the full might of Life being unloaded here on Leenock's base. If he can stop this, he'll be in a pretty good spot. This is a big dedication from Life, but, you know, he gets you before the spines are done. The Mutas can't really engage in, and they're just so afraid of the fungal growth. The Banelings are also going to be huge priority targets. Like, what do you fungal? And he's nothing! The answer's nothing! Life loses everything! Those Banelings are perfect, slow Banelings. Oh man, with 5 Infestors there, you know that was a mistake out of Life.
Wow, that saved Leenock's butt right there. Yeah. Oh god. Alright, so the third still goes down. The fourth is probably going to go down as well as the mass Infested Terrans go down. There's nothing here to defend it.
The Queen died so fast.
I think Life, I mean, I think he should have been able to end the game right there, but I think it did enough damage to warrant the Nydus Worms.
Like, had he landed that fungal growth on either the Mutas or the Banelings, if not both, like, that would have been game-ending damage for sure, I agree, but you know, killing 2 bases for the cost of what was some very expensive units, 2 Nydus Worms as well as 100 minerals, 100 gas per worm lost, I mean, this is not a great spot to be in. Even with these Hydralisks coming out, I mean, last game, he had the money to slap down the Corruptors. He had a big bank for most of that game. That's not the case this time around. And there's still the Mutas. Leenock had lost so many Mutas last game too. Let's not forget about that.
He's okay against the Mutas. It's the Banelings that are now actually a problem. They weren't supposed to be a problem when you had Infestors, but we saw what happened there. But now without, he's going to have to just depend on splitting. They're still slow. Oh, I didn't even know that, but okay, they didn't do that much. So we cannot run in with these Mutas.
I would argue even the Queens alone might be enough to stop this just due to transfuses. The Hydralisk DPS is going to be a nice addition, but everything out of position here. Awkward.
Yeah, throwing down like 2 Spore Crawlers or even 3, you know, at certain bases might not be a bad idea, knowing that the Muta count is out of hand. Feel the pain of a Terran player right now, right?
Right. Well, I mean, this is more what old school CVZ was. It was Muta versus Muta every single game. But yeah, 22 Mutas is going to be a little bit hard to manage. But for Leenock, that's not the core of his army. Like, the idea is he's still going Corruptors behind us. He's still looking for those Broodlords. I mean, the Mutas are just kind of cool. Hey, look at me, will I really do this over here?
This is so different from last game. Leenock is going to be able to get not only the Broodlords, but also like offensive Broodlords. He's going to control the pace of this game unless Life can break out soon.
Man, I really want to compliment the way Leenock's done this so far, but like as decent as he's been playing, like it really, like life threw away so much in that attack, and I hope Rifkin, you're being so critical about you couldn't play like life could, and that's fine. I accept that, but I mean those infestors dying were seriously, I feel like, where this game pivoted around. Like that attack was so scary, and it just ultimately did nothing. Leenock's now on 4 bases once again. I mean, it's his game to lose at this point, quite frankly.
Yeah. There's also a big loss of momentum when that happened. Life is actually looking pretty good. The Night Storm's actually getting up at all, already lent to the momentum. Yeah. But now he's back in his base. He has to defend against the Mutas, and Mutas are just, you know, if they're defending, they're okay. You can deal with them, you know. Versus Terran, you get a couple of Thors. Versus Zerg, they have Hydras and Queens. But when they're on offense on your side of the base, they bounce around everywhere. They're so hard to deal with.
Did you ever see the movie The Land Before Time with the dinosaurs?
I was really young.
Man, this reminds me of like the Great Migration, like all the dinosaurs. It's like this is like the slowest push of like 13 queens, a ton of hydras.
Any dinosaur movie ever. It's always about like the world is ending.
Yeah, fair enough.
Dinosaur movies are sad.
We need to find the water.
Yeah, like water.
Broodlords are revealed at this point, and okay, some of the mutas get caught out here, not too bad. There's still queens on the way, but can the Broodlords hold? I mean,
there's so many queens. What the hell?
The Bailey's gonna roll into this. Can he get those fungals off? Even if these go off here, they go off on top of the roaches, but he gets on top of a good chunk of the hydras on the south side. However, the north side remains untouched. But I think the Broodlords might just be enough. The queens don't quite have the DPS to just wreck this.
They are not able to go underneath the Broodlords, especially if they're forced off the grave.
Well, maybe now.
Go!
Oh,
Run
the fungal growth.
Your slowest fungal.
Fungal's the Mutas actually.
Yeah.
Because of the Mutas going down, there's no cover for the Broodlords. You're right. Oh my god, they're focusing down the Broodlords so quickly. But the Broodlings now on top of them are going to make it hard to deal with. You know, one without the other doesn't work. There's no Hydras here to complement the Queens, and the Mutas actually survived that fungal onslaught. So, Leenock with maybe not a devastating army supply, but a very efficient army supply.
Okay, that's probably it then.
Yeah. Man,
the Queens were making up a lot of life supply.
I am just straight up shocked how quickly those killed a Broodlord. Like, that was almost like one-shot status.
God, it wasn't even the problem that they were like too slow, because they were actually on creep, I think, towards that part, but it was just like they're too fat. So the Broodlings like stopped them.
Yeah. Well, the Night Storm over here ensures that there's no base in the top right, but can this infestor kill enough in the bottom left? 3 infested Terrans.
3 infested Terrans. Go, go, go.
Yeah. A for effort, I guess. Well, the Hydras are trying to stutter step to the Broodlings, but, you know, 2 Broodlings at a time is a little too much to deal with, so on the retreats. I mean, as if it isn't bad enough that the Broodlords themselves, like, they deal the damage landing the Broodlings, then the Broodlings deal lots of extra damage, like, oh, it gets all kinds of nasty. But the Hydra's gonna try and escape. GG is simply gonna be called. Leenock will tie the series up 1-1.